Rolling features are everywhere, from stock market analysis to sales forecasting and machine learning. But they're surprisingly simple to create in SQL. In the next few minutes, I'll show you exactly how. It is very important that you have watched the previous video on window functions, as this will be following on from there. So let's start with what a rolling feature is. A rolling feature is a value calculated using a moving window of previous rows. As the window moves down the dataset one row at a time, the feature is then recalculated and making it useful for capturing recent trends or patterns. The data we're using here are the share price data, with the change in share price for each day, as you can see here. So let's get right into it. As the code is not too different, first we have a window function that will create the sum. Previously we used partition, which will give the sum of the groups. However, this time we will instead give the rows that we would like to sum. We will remove the group by, and instead we will want to first order it by the times usually. So for me, we're going to order it in days. This is so we have our data and rows in date order. Now that we have this, we write our rows. So we put rows between and then 6 rows before and the current row. This will give a rolling sum for the share price change by summing the share price change of all 6 rows before and the current row. So display this and we can see that as we go down, we get values of the sum of the previous 6 rows and the current for every row. If not enough rows available, it will just ignore those missing rows. Then that is how we do it. Now just how we get different rows. Well, we can get the next 6 rows with between current rows and 6 following this time. Then here is that table. 3 rows before and 3 days after with 3 preceding and 3 following. And then finally, important, we can do all the rows before or after if you wanted with unbounded. So if we take a rolling sum of all the values before that row and that row, we can do rows between unbounded preceding and the current row. Then when we display, we can see a running sum for each row. Then that is everything for this video. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to support the channel, and I hope to see you in another video.